You ready? Oh. Look at that. Pretty much the last thing we need to do on the trailer. We've checked everything else. It all looks pretty good. Just got to tighten up a few nuts here and there, a little bit of grease. But you can see these skids here, these old timber skids, they are well and truly done and dusted. So we're going to replace those. There's a few ways of doing it. We've got one in stock that's a little bit smaller, as you can see, and that'll offer a bit of support to the boat when it's on top. But probably a better option is to get one of the longer ones here, and we'll just custom cut it to the size we want. Sometimes the longer the better, just adds a little bit more support to the boat. So all we've got to do is use a drop saw or even a hand saw and just cut that on an angle. And what's really important when you put these on is you drill the hole through the side of this slightly to the front, so the weight of the skid sits back like that. So when you reverse your boat into the water, the skid will sit down and it's much easier for the boat to slide on, and then it flattens out. So we'll whip them off, cut these up, chuck them on, and we'll be good to go.
Alleviate any of that free play.
So you can see this guy's a bit of a homemade job. They've just used a staple gun to push that plastic in there so the boat skids up nice. But we'll just use this as a template. We might go like a smidgen longer, but pretty much will stay the same length. So we'll probably maybe go about an inch longer, roughly about there. Square that off, cut a couple of those, and away we go. Automatically pivot back.
That's right.
So we want the weight at the back. So it probably only needs maybe an inch or so. And lifted.
That's right.
Yeah, it can't be completely flat on the bracket. It has to be off the bracket about a centimetre, just so we can move forward. The higher you actually put it in on that bracket, the more it will actually pivot. So the higher we go, the further down it'll sit in the water. But I'm thinking you find a happy medium, about a centimetre or so, hey Jace? Alright, so just a simple dot like that, and to match them up, we'll just grab the other one and put a dot there.
What do you take after? No, I didn't drill straight through both of them.
Yeah, that's about right. And honestly, if it's out a centimetre or so, it really doesn't matter too much, as long as that weight is at the back and it tilts down. And you'll see it straight away. As soon as you put it on the trailer, it should sit straight back once we've drilled the hole, put the bolt through. Simple. Beautiful, like I bought one. Look at that, and there she goes, tilts back perfectly. You don't really need any more tilt than that, that's enough. The front of the boat will come up right up nice and smooth, and it's decent height in comparison to the center roller there. And it'll sit up nice and straight, support the boat. And just having that extra inch there as well, I think, story of my life, is not a bad thing to have. All right, let's keep going. You idiot.
Just came out.
Yeah. So obviously a bigger trailer is a lot more complex, but at the back here, the first point of contact really for a boat that, this is not a complete punt, it has a V,
Yep.
It needs to be this center roller.
Absolutely.
So do you think that needs to be slightly higher than these, or roughly the same height?
Roughly the same height, and it all depends where the boat sits once it's on the trailer.
Yep.
But back to these skids, the way you were explaining before, being a V nose punt, it will be the nose of the boat and the two sides of the V that'll touch first.
It'll straight on.
They locate themselves straight away.
It's a bit of trial and error. Once you get it out on the water and you bring the boat back in, the first time you do it, you might think, okay, this has got to be adjusted, but they're a really easy adjustment. It's really just a bolt at the back, just to move them up and down. Very, very simple. So this one's just running loose at the moment. So we'll probably bring it up maybe an inch and tighten her up. That looks about right. It's a little bit lower than these two, but that V will hit that first anyway. So you've got to work out exactly where these skids should lie, further in or wider, depending on the shape of the boat. But the best thing to do, especially with a little tinny like this, throw it back on top, have a look underneath and see where it's sitting, and just adjust it. It's just a bolt, seriously, to move it across either down the bottom here or on the side. and you can move it in or out just so it sits perfectly under the boat and supports its weight when you're traveling. Good, how are you? Oh, thanks, brother. Oh, we're just fixing up this old tinny for my son.
For $14,
Yeah, it's worth replacing, isn't it?
you know, little things like that will spoil a holiday.
Yeah, that's
at
right.
the end of the day. So we'll freshen them up. Young bloke will never have an issue. Dad will be happy.
Absolutely.
I might back that off for a sec, Shay.
So the more we fix on this boat, the less times I'm going to get phone calls. Dad, it broke. Come and get me. Yeah.
Alrighty. And we're free to go.
So whenever you're putting these back on, make sure you put them on under pressure. Doesn't have to be full on, but at least a fair bit of pressure.
Alrighty.
Underneath the boat here, you can see the centre roller is supporting the boat. It's slightly off the middle, so I'm just going to lift her up and pull her across. So it should be on now. And while you're looking, you can see if it's actually being held at all by the skids, and you can see they're probably a little bit loose. They probably need to come up maybe an inch. So they're supporting the boat as we're driving along. So all I've got to do is lean on this a little bit and the whole boat rocks. So she's got to be moved up. That's it. Probably, I'm trying to make it even on both sides. So just hold it there, Jace. I'll just see. Yeah, no, it's too much. Oh, I don't need it by eyes. Right, that's probably close there.
Actually, we're going to have to.
Yeah, that's it there, Jace.
We're going to have to bring him up because it's sitting on that central roller.
Oh.
Rocking, yeah.
Oh, so the roller's got to come down?
No, it won't go down any further.
Oh, I see.
So.
Okay, push it up a bit. I'll lift it up. Yep.
Okay.
You set it there, and then we'll just have to lift the other one up, eh?
Yeah, I'll hit a ballpark.
Rightio. Now, once Jason's done that, you can see the gap that's here between the mudguard and the actual boat itself. So once we've tightened up both sides, lifted up both sides, you can literally measure the distance there, and you want it even on both sides, here and on the other side, and then you know she's sitting flush on the trailer. And the skids are doing their job and supporting its weight. Obviously you have a tie down as well, but you want it tied down before. Even with the tie down, she was bobbing around all over the place.
Okay.
Now very strongly supported, everything's nice and tight, and she's been held in the right position. It's very good. So that's pretty much the trailer done. We've done the bearings, we've done the skids, we've tightened up all the bolts. We've replaced the belt on the front here. The boat's sitting nice and flush, and it supports the boat and does what it's supposed to do. And I think we've got years and years of pleasure out of this trailer to come. Next stage is the boat, so tune into the next episode.